at Woody's here in Abbotsford, British Columbia, Canada, and behind me is the new Winnebago Thrive. So hello and welcome back to the GREYWOLF RV YouTube channel, and today we're actually going to do a tour of this trailer, like I said, courtesy of Woody's RV, because there's a lot of interesting stuff that's going on with the Thrive, and I say that as a micro mini owner. So some things I am totally on board with, others maybe not so much, but I think that this is going to represent the future direction of Winnebago's design aesthetic, let's say. And as I'm sort of like walking around, one thing that, again, this is a personal preference, I don't like the white, but it suits this trailer really, really well. In fact, I'm falling out of love with white exterior trailers to begin with, but you may actually notice gone are the iconic roundies. I call them roundies because like the BMW 2002 from like pre-1971, I think it is, they called those, the taillights were round, they called those roundies. But yeah, they've gone to this style. Now, I don't mind it. There is still a integrated reverse light in it. But yeah, lots of use of white on the exterior, which again, aesthetically really quite interesting, but also a departure at the same time from what we're perhaps used to seeing. So like I said, this is really a tour to see kind of what they're doing in terms of like build construction. So again, gone are the Schwintex. We haven't seen Schwintex on the micro minis in a couple of years. This is the Lippert Slim Rack. As I understand it, because the sort of worm gear track is bolted to the slide out, should that slide out not be manufactured perfectly square, that means that the gear contact with that slide is going to be variable, whereas this being a free floating, let's say, can accommodate for any kind of like inconsistencies in the wall construction. Still seeing glass windows. Yeah, you know how I feel about that. 1-inch slam latch doors. Let's check this out. Now, something that I've actually noticed on, oh, hello, this is an improvement. I really wish that I had an aluminum subframe. Now, it is just screwed into the nose cap, and I'm seeing 1, 2, 3, 4 screws into the sidewall. Whether that's actually being held in the structural elements or just in the fiberglass, who knows? That said though, I am seeing use of particle board. So the Lord giveth and the Lord taketh away, as they say. So would I much prefer this to be applied? Absolutely. Then again, I don't know where the Thrive is falling in terms of price point. We'll actually have to check that at the end. 100% don't even know how much this costs. Double light in here, which is good. We only have the single on the other side, but I still don't love that they're wall mounted, because once you get like camp chairs and stuff in here, it's pretty easy to fill this up, where I'd much rather see either like a single strip LED or something, you know, roof mounted where it can shine down. What I was going to say a second ago, though, is something I've noticed when I was giving the old GREYWOLF 2 there a clean, is all of the dirt and foliage and everything is going to fall down in here, and it's kind of a nightmare. I'm not going to get into that, but I don't love this. One thing I am seeing though, or lack thereof, is an MPPT controller just hanging off the wall with its exposed circuit breaker. I think it's pretty janky in the micro mini that we have. Although speaking of janky, the wall cuttings maybe could have been a bit more on par, but lots of good things I'm seeing here. Again, really wish that I had aluminum. This is way stronger than that, you know, little twig board that we have in ours. Back out, solar on the side. I don't know anybody who uses that, most especially if you have a big array on the roof and you plug a panel in there, then you can potentially degrade the performance. This looks really good. An actual normal length chain, although, is this the BL? Yeah, so this is the BAL NXG, or next generation frame as they call it. And look at that, a proper length chain. So more than what I can say is what we have, right? Now this is obviously new, where, oh, this is nice too. They're even using like a rubber molding around the side, or it's perhaps actually that this whole strip is the molding. I think that's more likely, and then they're adding this frosted, I'd say 4000K light over top. Light signatures, I don't think you can run with this going down the road, quite honestly. But yeah, to have the ambient lighting and like a visual light signature, I think is really important. Yeah, I'll leave that there. One thing though, before we move on, is look at the shape of this, look how vertical this is. You know, there's a more traditional nose cap, and then even the Micro Minis are further canted over. I have said for years that when it comes to towing a trailer and fuel economy and aerodynamics and all that stuff, the biggest difference you'll ever notice is whether or not you have a trailer behind you. Everything else is kind of semantics, whether that's weight, length, etc. And I suspect that Winnebago has maybe done some, you know, data review, perhaps, who knows, but they have obviously come to the conclusion that having this more vertical nose allows them to have more interior space higher up versus have it being canted over, where we have that like that parcel shelf up top that's open and exposed, whereas this trailer I know has full enclosed upper cabinets. So yeah, that's interesting to see in that sense. Now, let me check this out. This feels like a, no, this is glass. So we live in Alberta, and this is a gigantic liability. There are, however, though, plastic, impact, PPFs that you can get for windshields. They've got a really bad reputation because when you have windshield wipers, they will inherently like mar and scrape up that PPF, but we don't have windshield wipers on the front glass here. So yeah, I would, if you're buying this trailer, and even if it costs you $500, you know, obviously price out, but I don't want to know how much this glass is, plus labor and installation costs. So yeah, price that out, because like I said, anywhere, any gravel road or the province of Alberta in particular, even when I was driving through Montana, I was talking to a guy about windshields there, and he was like, oh yeah, don't replace the windshield because they're doing so much road work and road construction, everyone is having their windshields broken. So yeah. Now this is super cool to see because this is, I don't think, yeah, that's a plastic tread. I don't recognize this brand. So I don't think this is a Lippert product. Oh, that's a cute little tab back here. All right, I see where we're going with this. So the reason why this is exciting to me is because when you flip down your stairs, you want these to accommodate to uneven terrain, and so many of them have this really like cheap, pokey kind of little button where it's or you know, something hidden on the inside where it's really not easy and intended to be adjusted with any degree of regularity. So yeah, personally though, I'd rather this be like that long, and maybe even have like a spring inside of it where it would sort of neutralize, so it might not shoot all the way down, but it, you know, could sort of automatically recoil or something. I don't know. I'll have to figure out who that brand is though. Again, white handle on the outside, white steps, departure definitely from the black. Yeah, this is a Lippert door frame. Okay. Now, this is really nice to see because, oh, is that a holdback? No, that's just pressure. So you're gonna wanna add a little stopper there, but this is like it's an either or, right? So you can either put jackets in here or you can use it in the shelving configuration. But this is also something that I'm really liking, is actual proper drawers. Like again, we have that pantry cupboard, but it's just shelves and you're digging through. Holy smokes, that is a big fridge. Okay, so let's see. How are we going to, is there a latch here? I don't want to, is there a button? I feel like no. So there's the hinge. Can we just pull? No. Oh, I know what, you're gonna have to like press this out. Okay, I'm gonna sit you down. Is that it? I can't be it. Oh, there it is. Okay. So it's a handle that with the lock here. So handle in and open. Okay, that's not bad. Yeah, really good size. I think maybe it's the same size as ours. The thing is though, is when it's black, and I don't like black, but when it is black, it's so much more like stands out, right? I much prefer stainless, but like the trend these days is black. I think it's short-lived. It was around in the 80s, and I think it's, yeah, not here to stay. On the inside, we have the Winnebago standard control panel, a central roof LED switch. Like, come on. This is what the Micro Mini desperately needs. None of this like push one button 1,000 times kind of thing. A much smaller JBL head unit if you really have to have that radio. Look at the size of this compared to the one, or the one we have takes up an entire cupboard. Most importantly, drawers on the side. The mattress is not going to slide into that space every night. A plug for charging, a nice little shelf so you can put like a glass of water or something like that, charge your phone. We have our wireless charge pad. We still have the side wardrobes, but now because of that, the curvature, that more upright profile of the nose cap, we have enclosed doors. We also have ducted AC. Now, in fairness to Winnebago, at the time that our Micro Mini was being built, Truma was advertising that it was ducted compatible, and that's where I was sort of blaming Winnebago, saying, hey, like, why do you get this upgrade, or why do you pay more and get a worse, you know, air distribution system with the air conditioning? Not that we can really use it, but unfortunately, though Truma was advertising that, they were premature in their advertising, meaning it wasn't available. But I think it's available now. It was just coming online, and whoever announced that information on their website was arguably a bit premature. But much better air distribution. So we have 2 directly over the bed, super nice, 2 in the living area, 1 back here by the door, which is going to be an area of high transition, and I'm hoping there might be 1, yep, 1 in the washroom here, but we'll get to that in just a second. Okay, so, oops. We have had the Micro Mini now for 2 seasons, and one thing is very clear to me, and that is I love the dinette. I have not used it or had any guests use it for sleeping, but it's great to have that as a backup. I do keep some additional bedding for that purpose, but it's not like high on my priority list. Really what I'm trying to hit at is the dinette is fine for eating, but I think in terms of time spent, I have not really sat in it very much because it does sort of get uncomfortable quick, especially if you're like just wanting to relax and watch a show. That said, the fact that this doesn't recline, I mean, you could, you know, build up some, like a pillow wall here. You could kick, as a single person, your feet up. I think this looks great, but now that we're in it, I want it to recline. I want it to kick up. And if that TV was mounted lower and slid over, oh boy, I would probably go so far as to say I'd be willing to give up a dinette for that, because, you know, you can get some like work done. It depends where your priorities are, I suppose. If you need to do any kind of like work on the road, where you, like for us, for editing, I would find this pretty awkward to sit at before long. I'd want something that's like directly in front of me. I mean, maybe you could make one that's like twice the length, or, you know, that folds. I'm sure there's like a cottage industry that's has that. Yeah, would you eat here? You know, would you have a plate? And now you're sort of facing away from each other. Yeah, interesting. I really wish this reclined. I think, let me see if I can do it. You can see the mechanism there. Ah, here we are. Oh, you probably have to take the tables off to get it to go. All right, we're not going to do that. Something that I noticed and kind of objected to, but I think maybe to like try to be as fair as possible. Scout, when we did the tour of the pop-up camper back in January, I noticed, I made a comment about the orange, the very like 3000 Kelvin lights that they were using. And I was like, oh, why aren't they daylight? I was like, oh, we just switched. I'm like, oh, weird. Because I would put forth, most people want this neutral natural, what I believe is like a 4000K. And what's nice is they've hidden this strip, so you're actually getting down and back lighting, but it's very indirect. Whereas what we have in our trailer are these two little click button lights. There's no molding to sort of hide it, and it's not consistent in terms of the way that the areas are lit, but also it's even a bit warmer, right? So I think this is like the ideal color temperature. And then you can sort of like pick and choose maybe if you want like a little night light here or there. This is that new, you're gonna want a new mattress right off the bat. This is that new, or what's old is new again kind of thing. I believe this is like a wrap. It feels very hardy. It feels way more durable than like the vinyl shrink wrapped MDF that we and so many other trailers have. This feels, yeah, this feels good. It's not a natural material. I think it's fiberglass. I don't think it's got anything in terms of like heat retention. Like invest in some dollar store cork pads, but the all one piece, I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't say no to an undermount sink, but like, gosh, this looks big. Oh, interesting point though. Yeah, let's bring it in. So this looks fantastic, but notice there's nowhere to put lids. So it looks open, it looks spacious, but now you've got some dirty dishes and they're just hanging out in here. What I have noticed is, one, I love the rack that we put over ours, because we basically, in our trailer, we have the 3-burner, that it transitions pretty quickly to the sink, and then we have the little flip up for some prep space. So this increased our prep space tremendously by having that roll top. There is no flip up over here, even though I think that there, you know, you could get maybe another little bit. This would be a great utilization for a flip up, because you could still flip it down to navigate around, flip it up to, you know, extend your counter space. Yeah, that is worth consideration. Is there a flip up here? No, and again, there easily could be, right? You know, something that flips up, even if it only comes out to here, you could have like almost like a transition zone while still slightly being able to navigate around it. Yeah, that's interesting. Let's check this out. I wonder what's under here. I think that I would be inclined to explore. I think there's going to be a wheel well, but I don't know how much space there is in terms of being able to like navigate under it. Someone, here, let me turn on the light here. Someone in the comments, please tell me, is this done correctly? So we have this like PEX line in crimped onto this plastic wing nut style, and then into that metal that goes up. I'm curious if that's, because it's, you know, there's that channel where the guy does the undercover RV tech. Oh, check this business out. Okay, that's cool. Because I was just thinking, like, oh, that's not very tall for a can. That's why I was thinking about lowering it. But yeah, you wouldn't need to. Plastic on top. And then silverware drawer, I assume. Oh, and a nice organizer, which we don't have. It's bamboo? No, it's not. It's maple. It's not dovetailed, so it is just a rivet, or a rivet, what do you call it, staple. I hope maybe they've put some glue in here. I don't see any residue that would suggest they did, but yeah, oh man, I wish that we had this. It'll be interesting to see in the end what the price point is. Oh, hello, proper exhaust fan. Now, this one is not a OTR, meaning over the range microwave. So you do have a separate exhaust fan, which then probably exhausts, yeah, right there. So we can't have this even retrofitted into the Micro Mini because the window that's beneath it won't work with it. But a lot of the OTRs exhaust further up, which it could have had. Let's do bathroom and then we'll finish with the bedroom, because I think the bedroom's the biggest improvement. So ours, again, if you're thinking about this from like a experiential camping perspective, you'll notice probably pretty quickly there's going to be a distinct lack of like dirty clothes sort of storage, and then also like think about laundry. Like we're keeping our laundry bag in that one smaller lower cabinet. Standard fan, definitely would want to replace that. I know a lot of people are down on these corner showers, but I think this is more than adequate. Like that's, you know, me for scale. It's not like these things kick out a ton of water anyways. That said, I mean, I'll take our full size one that we have to begin with anyways. This under here? No. This is, I think, maybe a bit of a rework. Because you're reaching under what is a fairly loose panel. Okay storage, I guess. I don't know. You get a couple of things down there, but it's, yeah, I'd rather just bring this out, give more storage. You don't have this weirdness. And then, oh yeah, magnetic catches. So yeah, we definitely could use that. I'd like to see the ambient lighting down here, but yeah, we have, oh, and look, this is what we ended up modifying on ours to have all of the lights on one switch. And nice too, like look at the size of these compared to ours. Ours are so big that we can't even retrofit this, right? Okay, so bedroom. Oh, definitely a mattress needed. Lots to like here again. So big drawer underneath. Keep all your like medications, maybe your passport or wallet or, you know, kind of things that you don't want just sort of randomly floating around while you're at camp. Up here, notice I could have a drink of water. The mattress won't slide into it like it will on our Micro Mini. There is USB A and C and two 110 plugs. So for people who require CPAPs. Now, this window is small and it doesn't necessarily have to be that small. And this pillar is kind of annoying, if I'm being honest. I would prefer maybe like a reconfiguration of this, like maybe bring this out, have this sort of be open in the back or something, but definitely an improvement over what we have. Speaking of improvements over what we have, or what we, oh, interesting, blue, that's weird. I don't know why you'd ever want to, how, is it, does somebody know something I don't in terms of like blue lights and reading? That's a bit warmer, but that would be nice to read a book from. Don't think it would be too straining, but yeah, that's something we don't have. Is there a little, I know a lot of these have like USB ports and stuff. This one does not. That's okay. Don't need it. And then, there we go. Big window, if that's not already obvious. So let me sit up. One thing that I have come to notice that I don't like about the Winnebago is we don't have 360-degree viewing. Lots of windows, none at the front or the back. So if someone, as what happened the other day, last night, late at night, somebody pulled into the camp spot that we had, they had their high beams on, and the only way I was able to even know that they were even there with their high beams on was because I could see through the side window and the face of the slide lit up. And I was like, that's interesting. And I looked out, and because the vehicle was kind of facing up, there was nothing that was being illuminated on this side. So I actually had to then open the door, stick my head out, and, you know, obviously, like, especially if you're in an area where you're not feeling too safe, you don't really want to have to exit to find out what's going on, right? Yeah. Okay, so it's broken. I don't know if this is going to hang in that window or not. So it might actually hang out and then create a heat space. Yeah, that's interesting. JBL speakers. And then here's your upper cabinets, which we don't have. So there's a lot of things they're doing here which are genuinely like solutions to issues on the Micro Mini, such as bringing this down and bringing it out and then adding doors. And again, that requires that more vertical nose profile. So yeah, there's a lot going on here. Yeah, there's a lot to like. was just about to leave, and I wanted to point out the fact that this is an oven, but it does not have a pot drawer. So pots and pans are going to then live in here, which is just kind of like a big open space. So you're going to definitely want to invest in some totes, or maybe build like a custom slide that can come in and out, but you will need to navigate around this. So yes, pots and pans that will have to be in here. This is just all that, the sort of stuff that you can easily gloss over accidentally in a tour until you go to use it. Lots of uppers though. So yeah, maybe cups and plates, and then, you know, taller cereal boxes or whatever. Like this is your pantry, right? You know, maybe potentially down there, and then maybe over here, but unless you want to, you know, put outerwear or something in it. Now maybe this is, you know, more of your pantry for food storage. And then there's the little kind of cubby down here for shoes, which actually I love that. That's practical. It's a bit tight, but and it's perhaps a bit too deep, but yeah, shoe storage is wicked. So I keep finding things that I forgot to mention, but I want to take a point and do that now. This light strip up here, this is a cob style light strip, I believe, meaning that it has like one big consistent, you know, you don't get like the little hot spots. And same thing actually on the inside there. That's the one under the cupboard. So yeah, it doesn't look like individual dots of LEDs. And then just a closer look here. So they're using, oh, interesting. R Lux RV. I haven't heard of them before. Cool. Oh, and something else I want to mention is, just like ours, I'm not going to go through, we have front and back, left and right independent stabilizers. So yes, shout out to Winnebago for doing that. No caps. I don't know if they've just haven't been put in. Oh, I hate this. Notice only one cable hookup on the exterior versus our trailer. Oh, and this is black. Hello. Oh, and it's plastic. I'm okay with this. So we have metal, which is highly conductive, and look at the ribs for impact, right? This I think is going to stand up pretty good to rocks and debris. Oh, but we are working with a leaf sprung. So yeah, let's find out what, that's really nicely built there. I like that. That's good construction. You see the rollers up there. Let's find out what the price is on this, because I'm seeing a lot of little details, and details cost money. At the same time, you know, it doesn't have the exotic appliances like what let's turn this light off. Ah, there we go. Oh, I blinded myself. I actually can't even read the sign. So my guess, I want to try to guess this as close as I can. My guess is $64.9. I think it's more expensive than a base Micro Mini, but less expensive than an FLX because of the appliances. Oh, darn, I'm good. So 69 regular, 59 for Woody's. So this is the same price that you can get a base Micro Mini for. So Micro Mini versus this essentially. Gravity water again. Exterior cable out. So yeah, I think there's some interesting movements. I think this is definitely set up more of as a park model than anything off grid, but I think there's a lot to like, and there's a lot of this gives me a lot of, I don't say hope, but it makes me excited for what Winnebago could potentially do with, say, a fresh set of eyes and a bit of a specific goal in mind with the Micro Mini, particularly the FLX. That's where my bias is. Yeah, so for that, I'm going to wrap up. I'm going to say thanks once more to Woody's RV here in Abbotsford, British Columbia, Canada, for allowing me to come in and show you this cool trailer. So if you're interested, it's here. It's sitting on the floor, and it's 2026. So this is going to be around, you know, all, well, this model should be unchanged, you know, into next year. So as always, thank you so much for watching. I sincerely do appreciate it. If you have any questions, comments, complaints, yeah, just let me know in the comments down below. I appreciate it. So you take care. Bye for now.